And how big is the goal? Is a goal too big? Is it really, right? So
How big, like how much of it is a stretch for a goal, right? Um, and there's a couple different points on that. Well, the first one is my stretch may be different than your stretch.
mhm.
So it can't be so big that you don't believe you'll make it. Right? It can't be so, but my, like I said, but that's subjective to all of us, right? So the size of the goal is kind of depends on where you're at. Um, it's very similar on the habits piece, where we'll set either habits or goals when our motivation is high. So to get going, you almost want to make them really, really small to get to build up that muscle. Oh, because every time you achieve a goal, you get the endorphins kick in, right? And you go, oh, boom, okay, yeah, I can do this, right? So, and it allows you to stretch more and more and more. So it kind of depends on where we are on the journey. So if we don't have a list of, okay, you know what, I've accomplished 50 things off my list. I don't have a pattern, or I've only done one or two. If I take a look back and reflect, well, maybe you're got to do some smaller things just to get that, build the muscle first, right?
Just if I may use the fitness analogy, Ron, to that very point. So
Yeah.
where it used to be said, if there's no pain, there's no gain. Well, that's not good, because if it's going to hurt. So one of the things, in the recent, fitness coaching that I've been at, what the words that are used with me is, if it hurts too much after we finish this session, then there's a risk you're not going to come back tomorrow or the next time.
Yeah.
So this goal has to be big enough to be a bit uncomfortable, but not so big that it'll scare the crap out of you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, having said that, there's some really interesting, setting this idea of a goal that's so big that you go, I was working with a client. We were talking about number of people that they want to serve within a year, right? And they're currently doing about 60 files. They call them files of what they're working on. And what's the goal? Well, he's talking, well, maybe, because he wants to grow his team and add people to it and whatnot. And he's got all the right reasons why he helps people, what he does. So he's not really looking at the dollars. He's more looking at how many people, how many families he can help doing what he's doing. And so we're kicking around numbers, and he said, so is it 100? Is it 250? And I said, well, so, what would be great? Well, if I was doing 150, that'd be great. Okay, well, what would be so friggin' insane? Well, 500 would be insane. Okay, so having said that, but are both possible? Yeah, both are possible. Okay, so what if the target's 50? Sorry, the 500. You automatically start thinking a little differently than 150, because 150 is just, I got to add one or two more people. I got to streamline my processes a little bit. But 500, okay, no, there's a larger team. Maybe there's offices that I got to set up in other districts, and so you start thinking differently. Or maybe I go online and I'm doing different things, like I'm more of a bigger audience. When the goal is bigger, you start thinking differently. And well, say if the goal is 500, but say you only get 400, but my other goal was only 250. I'm still higher than what I got because I was thinking differently.
Mind shift change as well. As I was coaching a client not too long ago, if your next goal is to become, let's say, director, you got to put on that cape, you got to put on that suit, to your point, Ron, and start thinking about what would it look like if I had 500 customers. And you start acting differently, you start talking differently, the way you communicate is different. All those things are different, absolutely. Because I'm coaching a client right now, and he's starting to wear that cape, if you will, and all of a sudden he's now becoming a multinational company, which initially He was just, mom and pop
Yeah.
in my backyard, right?